So we're here opening up a new SRS rifle, showing you how to go through and initialize it and do an inspection of the gun to make sure everything's squared away. So in this conversion kit, in this gun we got a 308 Winchester. Your conversion kit can also come in a separate box than the chassis, so just keep a note of that. If it's not in there and you got two boxes, don't freak out just yet, because sometimes the shipper packs things separate. So we're going to take the rifle out and we make sure we got our butt pad in the box. We got a magazine, we got our bolt, and we got a bolt stop. So the 308 is a short action caliber, so the short action calibers use this bolt stop in the rear of the bolt, and we'll show you how to put that in a sec here. But we're going to go ahead and start at the front of the gun. We got our thread protector on there. We make sure that's good and tight when we go shoot. We would go down the handguard. We're going to verify that the sling studs on the rail allow a sling to be inserted. Because the coatings sometimes build up a little bit and you actually have to work it in occasionally. So this one is a little bit stiff, but you get that in there with some force and you rotate it around, and then you just put it in and out a couple times. Again, that's a bit stiff, but you stick it in there and you rotate it until it works that coating in, and then you give it a tug and make sure that it's sealing properly. So, but you're going to want to go through, and there's 4 down each side. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, the same, and on the other side. Go through and check all those sling studs. Then you're going to go through and make sure that your handguard is nice and tight, and there's no play in there by twisting your receiver in your handguard. There's a key lock on the top of the gun that should have a screw in there. We're going to go through and check the safety and the firing mechanism now. We'll take the bolt out of the box, insert it into the rifle, rotate it. We're going to engage the safety, test the safety, give it a good firm pull, ensure that the firing mechanism stays cocked. Release the safety, pull the trigger, and it fires. We'll go through and do that 2 or 3 times just to ensure that the safe operation of the trigger mechanism is functioning properly. So we installed our bolt. We're going to head and put the bolt stop in the rear, and we'll install our butt pad. And it installs a lot like a camcorder battery. You just put the teeth down in there and give it a pull up, upward position. Then you want to check and make sure all your stock screws are in place here. Make sure none of them came loose and fell out during transit or whatever. And if you want, you can actually put a wrench on there and just make sure that they're firm. Don't over tighten them though, because the plastic is, you don't want to damage the stocks. The next thing is the magazine. We're going to take the mag out. Make sure that we got our short action magazine. It's got a spacer in the rear. The 338 Lapua and 300 Winchester magazines will actually not have a spacer. But you check your follower, make sure it's nice and springy and not binding up at all. And we'll insert that into the gun, ensure that it's grabbing properly. Check your mag release button here. We'll actually push that and let it come out. It looks like that's grabbing and catching properly. And when you go to the range, before you shoot your gun, you're going to make sure your barrel is properly installed into the gun, and just verify that your barrel is torqued down. We sell a 70 inch-pound torque wrench. The SRS requires 70 inch-pounds, but the HTI is 80 inch-pounds. So you're going to need 2 different torque wrenches if you have both chassis. So just go ahead and give it a turn until you hear the click on all 4 of these screws. And then ensure that your barrel is in the lock position. You can see an indicator here. It is in the lock position. You don't have to torque this screw, just the 4 on the other side. Oh yeah, the bolt mechanism, you're going to want to check and make sure that it operates nice and smoothly. Occasionally the coating might build up, like in the sling studs up here. It might build up a little bit in the action area, and you want to smooth that out. And you can do that by putting a little upward motion on the bolt handle and aggressively running it back and forth, and also putting a little down motion or pressure on it and running it back and forth. But that will really slick your bolt up really fast and nicely. You know, kind of the equivalent of shooting 100 rounds through the gun. And so it makes it nice and smooth.